So we are live. Here it is, day 6 of social distancing and isolation and being apart from the students that we love so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're doing well. Thank you all for coming. Please fill out the attendance form. We did put that in the chat. And I need to mute that. And so how about just a quick roll call? Because I see 17 people in the room already. Darius, first one here. Wow, cool. Alexis, Zulika, Darius. Who else can see? Aiden, Donald Trump, big boy. I'm glad that he shows up. Redhead,
here.
Redemption, Lisa Smith. Michael Jackson is in the house. And Michael Jackson, you have an amazing voice and you're a talented person. So for today, for you, because you're such a talented performer and singer, we have a very special guest we'd like to introduce you to right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here early. Please welcome to the chat.
Hey!
Oh, there you go.
Hey, kids. I miss you so much. I know you're doing great things, and I love you, love you, love you, love you. I've been playing with Polly Pockets. Please send help.
So they're saying hi to you. Anybody have a question for Deb?
Oh, look at all those. I know those kids. Oh, hey, oh. Look at all those wonderful kids. Oh, there's Lexi, Haley, Lexi. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Jake Bamford. I thought your name was George. I know. It's disturbing with the Polly Pockets.
Epic Romeo.
The musical. Let me answer that question. I saw a musical question. I'll tell you, I've been talking to Renee, and if it's at all possible, we want to still do it at some point. So I would not say that it's canceled. I would say it's just put on hold right now because especially for the seniors, we'd like them to have that last big moment. So it's kind of a waiting game like it is for you kids.
And you know, right now, I think all the rules are off.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you go, well, we can't do it. We can't do it if we have to do it in June. I don't know. I think all the rules are out the window right now. So we just have hope, right? And I think we might have lost. I think Mrs. Smith got frozen, but I know she would agree with that. So we're going to kick her.
You don't want to leave her like that for a while?
Kick her out. Mrs. Smith, thank you so much for joining. If you can still hear us, you got frozen in our stream, but we're so happy that you're here. She says that she's restarting for some reason. She just sent me a little thing. So we'll leave. We'll see if she pops back in. We don't have, this isn't going to be a long one today, I don't think, guys. One of the things that we know, probably starting Monday, this is mandatory. Right? Like, so those of you that are just dipping your toes in, coming to live stream, haven't been spending a lot of time doing the other stuff that we have for you, right now is really the time to do it because Monday,
we'll either see you in person or we'll see you here.
And I think the chances of, and I think honesty is the best policy in these times, right? So I think that the honest chance of seeing you is pretty slim. Deb Smith just sent me a message and she said that she wanted me to let you know that they're going to do everything they can to make the musical happen. So just hold on to that little bit of hope right there. All right. So I think we need to share the transcription worksheet with you. So if you did the transcription worksheet, and maybe even if you didn't, why don't you pull that up so you have that up? Because we're going to go over that with you and make sure that your answers are right. So if you give me 1 second, I will share that with the group. Boom, right there it is. I like this better. So we thought today for question and answer time, we would just use the questions on the top of the worksheet. So question number 1, get your keyboards ready. The sugar in a nucleotide of an RNA is called what? In the chat, let us know. I don't know if you saw that, Lisa. Annie Smith has a question. I think we're going to go over that. If your question has to do with this transcription paper, Andy, we'll go over that here in a minute. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of people piping in with the word ribose. You are right. So that answer to question number 1 on the transcription worksheet is ribose. Can hop in and take over the questions anytime, Mrs. Smith. We go back and forth, whatever you want to do.
I didn't know if you wanted me to answer Annie's question or if we want to come back.
Yeah. Well, is that in this worksheet that she's talking about?
I
think it is. And we'll get down to that.
Okay. So in RNA, we're talking about complementary strands. So what goes with what? In other words, we've gone over this one before. So this should be like quick, easy. So if I was adenine, I'd bond with. Got some jokes in there this morning. No. If I was adenine, I'd bond with you. Ha, ha. Good, Jeffy Jeff.
All right. I think we got it. So I'll type that in. A with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's golden. And C with G. Oh, look, they're spooning. RNA, what type of is a blank stranded polymer? What's the answer to number 3? Come on, let's keep this chat room rolling. Oh, look, people are on it today. Want the next one?
Okay, so how many different types of RNA are there? So not how many bases are there, how many types of RNA are on there?
Wow, cool. Wow, cool. Wow, cool got the answer.
Yeah, wow, cool did. Annie was on there too. I think Annie actually is in there first, but that's okay.
Ooh. It's hard to tell because there's a delay when it gets to our chat. Just so
That's all right. They're both mine. Keep going on.
Oh. I cannot take her competitiveness anymore, people. You have to start beating her students. Come on, guys. The 5-carbon sugar in RNA is ribose. We've already discussed that in the question up above. Ribosome. Ribose. So what is the sugar in DNA? Wow, cool says that he's not yours.
Oh, come on. I thought you were Connor. I forget who Wow Cool is then. There's too many names. I'm so
Thank you, Wow Cool. I needed that. You are a bright spot in my day. Oh, yeah, we got a whole bunch of people here. Hannah Church coming in with the oxyribose. Somebody might have beat her. I
see Abby, Hannah, Lexi. It looks like Lexi might be first.
Nice.
All right, moving on. In RNA, the base, what is substituted for what? So what are we doing?
Close, Annie.
Oh, it's Eli. Oh.
In RNA, the base blank is substituted for.
Yeah, T is substituted for U. Thymine is substituted with uracil.
Right. They just have it backwards from the question, right? Shouldn't it be uracil substituted?
Right. Yeah, it's substituted for uracil. Yeah.
U is substituted for T.
Substituted for thymine. Correct. Yes.
Where the question's written. All right. Next.
We already answered that one. Really, because that was up.
Want to jump to the next one? In terms of length, DNA molecules are much blank than RNA. I don't know that we ever said this, Mrs. Smith, but I think this is common sense.
If they are coding for a gene for RNA and they're only...
Oh, Deb's back. Give us 1 second, Deb. We'll let you get that last comment.
Molecules are good, much longer. Longer. I think Annie was first. Annie and Aiden and Lexi were all at the same time, pretty much.
All right, DNA is only found in the nucleus of the cell. I think we're not going to wait for an answer on that one because you all should know that. DNA is only found in the nucleus of the cell. We're going to do these last two questions, and we're going to pop Deb Smith back up for 1 second. Making a messenger RNA using DNA as a template is called what? What is this process called? They're on it now. I think they're reading ahead. And in the cytoplasm, mRNA delivers the code to the I'm seeing a lot of Gladys in here, Hannah, Darius, and this is awesome. All these names. If I didn't call your name, we apologize.
Ribosome.
Good.
Darius got ribosome there.
All right, so we are going to go to this next section in a minute. But before we do, I'm going to let Deb Smith finish up. So here she is. Welcome her back.
Sorry about that. You know how good I am with tech. It just stopped and said restarting, and I panicked. So I just waited it out. But I'll tell you, how proud can I be of you kids? I can't believe you're doing this kind of work. This is just amazing. You guys are the best, which we all know Hanover kids are the best of all. But let me just finish my whole musical. Like I said, and I think Mr. Suter said too, you know, the rules, if it doesn't happen when it's supposed to, it can happen later. And that's what Renee Staub and I are hoping to do, that once we can move on, we can make this show happen for you kids. So we'll do whatever we can for you guys. You know that. I love you all, and I am so proud of you. And kudos to Suter and LMO Smith. You've got some great teachers.
Do you see how quick they're answering these questions in the chat and stuff?
I know, it's amazing. I really like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're just teaching. It's school, right? School's not a classroom. School's not a building. School is a group of students and teachers that are working together to learn, and that's all this is about.
Well, when you have the best students and the best teachers, how can you go wrong? I think we all know that. Nighthawks are the best.
I agree.
Thank you, Suter and LMO.
Everybody say bye to Mrs. Smith and thank her for coming. Isn't that awesome? This is how much your teachers care about you, that they are willing to come into a live stream and hang out with you for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to take a nap now. Love you guys.
All right. Bye, Mrs. Smith.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. So we're back at it. So what do you want to do here, other Mrs. Smith? Do you want to do this one or do you want to do the next one?
It doesn't matter. We want to look at the diagram?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll pull it up on the screen.
Okay, so essentially what we're looking at here, and this was kind of confusing for some people, at least for some of my students that turned it in that I was looking at on the drawing, that some of you didn't quite get it. Some of you didn't use the word bank at the top, and so you told me like single strand versus double strand or double helix. And I was like, okay, but really what we were looking for is to label the RNA, to label the DNA, to label the enzyme that was doing the writing, and then the individual blocks here. And so this piece that's coming out, this is going to be our RNA, good. Okay, so that's our RNA, top one's RNA. And then down at the bottom, this would be our.
And which one are you at? Down here?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one's going to be our DNA. Good. So then the enzyme that's going to actually be doing the writing here is going to be, Aiden kind of put it in there, the RNA polymerase. Good. Okay, that's our enzyme that is making the RNA polymer, hence the polymerase, or as you know, I sometimes say words incorrectly to emphasize polymerase. Okay, and then over here, we're looking at the top one matching with C will be G. Then A goes with U. G will go with C, and I think some of them already said it. That's why I'm going a little faster. And then T would go with A. Now, Annie asked a question talking about the template strand. versus the complementary strand. So just to be sure to kind of explain this, and this does go a little bit above and beyond on what you need to know, but the template strand is also called the antisense strand. That's the strand that's actually being read by the RNA polymerase, where the complementary strand or the coding strand does match that same pattern that's going to be on the mRNA, except yes, uracil is going to be replaced for the thymine. So when we go through and you're doing examples with this, it's going to look like you have your 2 strands of DNA. You're going to have the one that is actually going to be the template strand that's going to be read by the RNA polymerase. And then the mRNA that's produced off of that single strand, I'm just like playing with my pencil here. The single strand that's made is going to pair up, yes, with the other side. So essentially when you're done, the mRNA will look like the complementary strand, except it will have uracil. So Annie, if I didn't answer that question, pop into office hours at some point and I can go over that a little bit more.
So I saw somebody mentioning that their screen was frozen. Guys, if your screen gets frozen, sometimes just reloading, I know it's kind of a pain, but sometimes just reloading your browser will help out. One thing that we're really going to have to work on and think about over the next couple of weeks as we do online stuff is, we don't have control over that, right? We have no control over your internet connection and stuff. So keep in mind, these are always being recorded. So if you do miss a piece and you need it, you can always go back and watch it. But we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, mine kicked out earlier. So don't, you know what I mean? It happens.
Let's go back. So we have that filled out. Boom. And so we go down a little bit. So we have this fill in the missing information section. One row has been completed for you. And then they show us up here. We have the template, the contemporary, complementary, and then the messenger. And so, yeah, your complementary strand, what Mrs. Smith was just saying, is going to look very similar to your messenger RNA, right? Except we're going to be replacing stuff with U's. So let's do this really quick just to make sure. And I don't think we need to do the whole chart to go over it, but maybe let's do 1 or 2 rows. So if I know what my complementary in this third and the second row here, if I know my complementary DNA, and so to figure out my template, it's just going to be the rules, right? G always goes to C, so I'm going to get 2 C's. A goes to T. And then G goes to C, G goes to C, and C goes to G. Now, I want you to notice something, a little bit of preview, foreshadowing here. We have these in groups of 3. And so groups of 3 is super, super important. And those are called codons. And that's foreshadowing. By the end of the week, you're going to understand why that's important and why we use that. And it has something to do with the way our tRNA molecules and our amino acids are assigned, the way that works together. So our messenger is going to look just like the complementary, but we're going to switch out any A's to be, any T's to be used. And since there is no T or U there, that should be pretty, oh, no, A goes to U. So there was one. My eyes didn't see it.
But you're looking at the template strand there, Suter.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Trying to juggle 8 things. So CC to A, and then GGC. All right. And do we need to go through the rest, or should we just fill them out? Mrs. Smith is just filling them out. So we can just fill them out for you real quick if you want to be able to check yours. If I can think to do this. U goes to A, right? You guys check me and make sure I don't mess up.
I feel the same way. I'm like, what? I will say as we're doing this, if you should have to do this on something later, like whether we're doing anything, I mean, I can't say keystone at this point, but you never know. That is probably the biggest error, is that people will mess up what they are writing. And you make an error in what you're writing, and all of a sudden you choose the wrong answer. So just always kind of double check your work. You can kind of see where things are.
Yeah, I hope people are double checking us, because this is, when you're trying to do this live, it is a little weird. All right. So, and then the last thing that we really need to go over this morning is this Venn diagram. And I really like this because I think it helps you to kind of start thinking about these things. So why don't I double click on this? Mrs. Smith, if you want to go through it, I'll move them as you talk about it.
All right, so when we're looking at the Venn diagram, and there was a few here that people had in different areas. I don't know how you feel about Venn diagrams, but typically what I like to do is put the things in the center first that I know are in both. So can someone give me one of the ones that is both DNA and RNA and is going to go in the middle of the Venn diagram there? And I'm looking over here. Does the RNA messenger RNA use the template DNA or the complex? So the RNA polymerase reads the template. Its message will match up with the complementary. So if you look at that one that we just did, it will pair up. All right. So I've got nucleotide is the monomer going into the center. Adenine, guanine. Trying to read the live comments as we got, so we get a couple of things moving in there.
What else do they got? Adenine, guanine, nucleotide. Well, if adenine and guanine are in the center, is anything else in the center?
Cytosine, great. 5-carbon sugar, good, because although there are different types of the 5-carbon sugars, they are both 5-carbon sugars. There's one big one that a lot of people messed up and didn't put in there. Phosphate group, good. There's another one. And if you're in my class and you got it wrong, I tried to put a comment in there saying about nucleic acid. Good, Annie. That's the one that a lot of people missed. They were putting nucleic acid just in DNA. Nucleic acid, remember, is the overall macromolecule category. And so that should, both DNA and RNA are nucleic acids. Reading through. Did I miss any, Mr. Suter? Sorry, I'm trying to.
We'll find them if we didn't.
All right. So if we pop over on the DNA side, what's going over there on the DNA side?
Good job to all of you that I'd love to read all your names and give you those personal shout outs. But good job to everybody that's participating. We see you. We see you. We have our eyes on you.
All right. So we got double helix, thymine going over there in the DNA. Located in the nucleus. Double stranded. Hope we're pulling in double helix. Deoxyribonucleic acid. I didn't see there, but I'm pulling it in. Oh, good. There's Well-Cool saying it. Yes, nucleotide is the monomer, but are nucleotides not the monomers of both? Same thing with guanine. Okay. All right, let's hop over to the RNA and we'll see if we missed any. So on the RNA side, we should have the let's start pulling down what we got. We've got the.
Are you pulling?
I'm not seeing, like, I'm having trouble seeing, the words are so small for me. So we've got three
types. So
yep.
Good, Abigail.
Single-stranded, uracil, ribosugar, ribonucleic acid.
I said single-stranded. Thank you. Ribonucleic acid. Wow, cool.
Ribose sugar.
I see Annie said that. Located in the cytoplasm.
Cytoplanet. Okay, ribosomes is what Aiden said.
Right. And so we have one left that I haven't pulled down yet, and that's deoxyribose sugar. And I don't think that goes in the RNA. So we must have missed it. Maybe somebody said it and I missed it earlier. Deoxyribose. Yes, Donald Trump, big boy, you are correct. We are going to slide that right over to DNA. Boom. Done. So, I mean, there are things here, guys, that are shared, right? And that's what we want you to know. I mean, these are both nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are one of the 4 major organic molecules we've been talking about all year. They're made of nucleotides, so they have things that are in common, and then they have things that are a little bit different. And so it's great that you're figuring out what those things in common and those things that are different are. Now you're going to be shocked. We're here to shock you. Shock and awe. What we want you to do tonight to prepare for tomorrow is really nothing. There's nothing that you have to turn into us new. Tomorrow, I think there might be another little competition to see if you've been paying attention. But you do not have to do anything new. If you haven't done the transcription paper, you obviously want to do that, and hopefully you were doing it along with us. If you haven't done replication or DNA structure, I know there's some of you, and I'm not pointing any fingers. We've been through this once before. We're not pointing any fingers. We're not trying to make anybody feel bad. But we know some of you are coming to the live stream to hang out with us and aren't doing the other stuff. Please get that taken care of. But tomorrow we're going to play some kind of little competition, some kind of game maybe on DNA transcription, so you might want to brush up on that. Wednesday, I think we have something completely different and special and maybe not real bio-related for you. Competition tomorrow. And then we'll get into translation on Thursday and Friday. So anything you need to add, Mrs. Smith?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, like we've been saying every time, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate the hard work. We appreciate you guys participating and joining in and making the best of a weird situation. And I think with that, stay safe, wash your hands. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
And maybe Zuli, maybe.